Okay. Do you feel that previous heartbreak has affected the way that you pursue romantic relationships? I'm sorry. Do you feel that previous heartbreak has affected the way that you pursue romantic relationships?
I'm healing from a heartbreak right now, so I'm like, everything. I feel it.
We might bring you to the couch.
No.
Yeah, I think right after I ended my last relationship, anybody that I came in contact with, I was just like, I'm stating my boundaries. I'm stating like all the things that I'm not gonna do, up front. Like, what's your name? No, I'm fairness. I value myself. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh shit. But it just put me in this space where I was just like, because a lot of that power was stripped from me. And I can't, and to be honest with you, I can't fully blame my ex for everything. That's not fair. You know what I'm saying? But I have to, this kind of goes back to the first question, like blame also affects your self-worth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I had to take on the responsibility for my part. And one of the parts was like, I just gave up my power.
Okay.
Because I trusted this person was going to take care of the power for me. Like, we were going to share this power. And then I realized like my power wasn't valued. And that's a whole story, but but in terms of like your question presently, like so now when I'm approaching a relationship, I'm not in a relationship, but if I were to start dating, I would want to like establish like what our boundaries are first, because that wasn't established at all. And even when I was bringing it up, my ex-partner, she was just like, no, I don't want it, because to her it was like a power balance. Like if we talk about boundaries, I'm not going to have power. I was like, no, that's not true. Like we have mutual power because we're sharing each other's boundaries. Now I know where you're coming from, what to do and what not to do.
Yeah.
So because of that, I think the next relationship that I approach, like I want to make sure that that's talked about, and talk about like sharing power, and that this isn't a power struggle.
Okay.
That we're a team and that type of thing.
Okay, I gotta ask you that because I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, so when we talk about boundaries and power struggle, not to dive too deep, but what was the power struggle? Like, what was the?
So I think. And I realize sometimes when you're in a toxic relationship, it has nothing to do with you.
Definitely.
These people are bringing all their stuff, all their traumas, mental health conditions into a space where that's supposed to be loving and supposed to be, you're supposed to have like reciprocity and all these things. But I realized that she had been victimized and she had gone through a lot of different things that had nothing to do with me.
Right.
And so she was bringing in all that. Yeah. And I think by us like talking about like boundaries, I think in her mind she must have felt like, well, if we talk about boundaries, then I won't have the power that I need. And my thing was like, well, I'm not here to have like a fight with you, like over power. Like we should both have that. We should both feel empowered to talk about whatever, to express ourselves, and have a safe space where we can communicate and grow and all these things and be vulnerable.
Yeah. So vulnerability was missing.
I think that it was missing. It was like this, and this is my perception. Now it's kind of unfair because she's not here, obviously.
So we won't. Let's not even talk about her.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about you. Do you feel like, from your perspective, vulnerability was missing? Was there a point where you're like, I no longer want to be vulnerable?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think because it was just like, you have to be vulnerable. It was like really just pounding into me.
You were saying that to yourself?
She was saying that to me.
Okay.
And to where I got to a point to where I felt like this one moment where I was just literally like ripped open.
Okay.
Like it was this spiritual, I wouldn't even say spiritual, this is emotional like break.
Yeah.
And after that, I just felt like this was too much. It was too overwhelming for me.
Okay, this is my last question on this. I'm sorry, y'all. This is literally like how I do these interviews. So, do you feel like you were being vulnerable and she was pushing you to be more vulnerable?
Yeah.
Or do you feel like you were being vulnerable and she wasn't reading your vulnerability?
I think it was a combination of the two, to be honest with you. Like, I felt like I was being vulnerable. I was doing my best. I was doing relationship research. I was like doing all these things to make it work, to show her that I'm in it, that I want to be vulnerable, that she doesn't have to carry the load emotionally on her own.
Yeah.
But that was like never enough. And I think that was like a theme.
Yeah.